Today on Newsbeat, students are deep into the midterm madness.
Students in the Baton Rouge community stared interesting ideas at this year's TED Talks.
And sexual assaults on campus have been making headlines, but LSU may finally have a policy to deal with sexual assault on campus.
All of this and more, Newsbeat starts now. Good evening and welcome to Tiger TV Newsbeat. I'm Mitch Rabelais.
And I'm Larissa Bonaquisti, filling in for Jack. Thanks for joining us. We're in the middle of midterm week and students are feeling the effects of these high-stress exams. So let's go to Tiger TV reporter Courtney Allen live at Middleton Library to see how students are handling the stress.
The second to worst week of the semester. You guessed it, midterms week. And I'm here in Middleton Library, which has become the hot spot for students to come and study all night because of their new extended hours. As you can see, everyone behind me is preparing for their exams, but that's not the only thing that students are going to be doing this midterms week. All week, LSU students will be lining up outside of Himes, filing coffee shops and pulling all-nighters in hopes of acing their midterm exams. This week presents a mental and physical challenge to students as they try to cram in the information that will get them an A. Stimulants such as caffeine are often used to help students stay awake and study for longer periods of time. LSU Center for Academic Success provides students with study tips and resources to help them succeed on their exams. We wanted to see how students were doing during this stressful week, so we decided to take a look around and see what they were saying.
I've been going to the library like every day.
Balancing which exam to go first or to study more of, and just figuring out whether I should sleep an extra hour or study that extra hour.
I started making study guides like 2 weeks ago. That way I wasn't trying to cram everything in.
Never seemed to get easier. I've taken 2 this week and I still have 2 more to go. Back to you all at the desk.
Thanks, Courtney. President Clay Tufts and Vice President Taylor Lambert are on their way out. This means student government elections are in full swing. The 3 tickets make it matter, More for LSU, and Here and Now started campaigning this week to persuade students to vote for their ticket. The elections for student government will be held on Monday, March 6th. If you're unsure of who to vote for, you can tune in on Thursday night to see who the tickets really are and watch some debate on the big issues affecting LSU's campus. You can meet the candidates and watch the debate live at tigertv.tv at 6:15 Thursday night.
March 1st started Women's History Month, and LSU has events planned to honor the achievements and contributions of women both on and off campus. But we wanted to see what you guys were saying on Twitter. So let's take our weekly pilgrimage down to the Twitter sphere to see who's changing women's history into Women's Her Story Month. @ForWars says Women's History Month needs to be about marginalized women who succeeded in helping young girls like them. We know enough about famous WW. Well, ForWars, I really can't say I know what WW is. Jason says, Happy Women's History Month. Let's celebrate the achievements of all women, not just Helen Keller and that pilot who never came back. I'm pretty sure her name was Amelia Earhart, but don't worry, Jason, that pilot who never came back was probably her nickname. Deep Toot says, Buttercup for hashtag Women's History Month because she's the realest of the Powerpuffs. I disagree, pal. Bubbles is the best. LSU will hold events such as lectures, open mic nights, and leadership symposiums to support and honor women this month. If you want to see your tweet read on air by yours truly, then tweet about an issue and use the hashtag LSUTTV. Women's History Month also addresses women's safety on campuses. Reporter and my lovely co-anchor, Larissa Bonaquisti, has more on Louisiana's new uniform sexual misconduct policy.
Just in time for Women's History Month, the Louisiana Board of Regents approved a uniform sexual misconduct policy that will stretch across the state.
The purpose of the policy was to make sure all public universities within Louisiana are operating under the same understanding of how institutions within Louisiana should be responding to reports of sexual violence on campus.
This policy will require law enforcement and health organizations to help address incidents that occur on campuses.
The policy is in line with national trends as well. The recently authorized Violence Against Women Act, the Campus Save Act, which was a subsection of VAWA, and also the White House Task Force Against Violence on Campus or Sexual Violence on Campus.
LSU had already taken a few steps towards security before this policy came into effect through women's self-defense classes, the My Student Body training module that all students are required to go through, and the LSU Shield smartphone app. Mass communication major Ellen Farmer is one of the many at LSU who is grateful for the safety measures that are in place on campus.
I think now that there's a universal law and rule, I think it's going to be really helpful, especially that it's going to be a statewide regulation, because people will know, like, there's no gray area.
Colleges in Louisiana will enforce protection against retaliation for any person who brings in a complaint regarding sexual misconduct.
If you let it go by without reporting people, I think that it can be a problem for people down the road.
If you ever have any concerns regarding sexual misconduct on campus, visit the offices in the Student Union or the Student Health Center. Larissa Bonaquisti, Tiger TV News.
Although this policy may not solve the problem of sexual misconduct completely, bringing all Louisiana colleges up to the same level of safety is a good first step. Students at LSU can always go to the Women's Center if they have any questions or concerns. So you're a woman, right?
Good observation, Mitch.
Well, in honor of Women's History Month, I have this new pickup line. Hey, darling, can I make you a sandwich?
Sure, I like tuna.
Slick Mitch, it's like Jimmy John's, always delivers. Well, I'd like to give a thank you to all the wonderful strong women out there, my producer, Kira Schutte, our sponsor, the lovely Miss Cindy Carter, my mom, and of course our station manager, Kristen Althouse. I'll make all of you a sandwich any day of the week.
You can do that during the break, but when we come back, we'll check out LSU's open mic night.
And here's some interesting ideas that are floating around LSU.
Stay tuned, Tigers. LSU will hold an open mic night this Thursday, March 5th, starting at 8. The event will be held in the LSU Student Union Live Oak Lounge. This event is free and open to all students to attend and even participate. Students are invited to share their music, comedic acts, or even poetry. No previous sign-up is required to perform.
Thanks, Larissa. I'll be sure to go by and sing some Sinatra for those folks. Human trafficking survivor Chong Kim will speak at the Union Theater tonight to raise awareness about sex slavery. Kim was sold into sex slavery almost 20 years ago by a man she thought was her boyfriend. Now she shares her story with students, law enforcement, and government agencies to educate them about the reality of human trafficking. Campus Life hopes this event will bring attention to sex trafficking in Baton Rouge. The event is from 7 to 8 tonight, and tickets are free.
LSU hosted the only independently organized TED Talk event here in Baton Rouge this weekend. Tiger TV's Michaela Morgan has more with how the event brought together local issues to spark deep discussion.
TEDxLSU celebrated its third annual event inside the LSU Music and Dramatic Arts Building this weekend. Speakers at this year's TEDxLSU spoke about some of today's most controversial topics up for debate. Championed by LSU's communication across the curriculum, the event encourages students across the state to share their own ideas and to learn how to effectively connect with others.
Being a part of TEDxLSU gives you the opportunity to have mentors at the university while producing a project in conjunction with community partners.
The attendees awaited to hear the 7 talks lined up for the day. Inspired by the recent Ferguson and other police and suspect fatalities, Rashad Red crossed the TEDxLSU stage as the youngest speaker and the only to leave with a standing ovation. Outside, the event included free food, coffee, and entertainment provided with the help of over 100 student volunteers.
I guarantee you within the next month we're already going to be drawing up our plans for TEDxLSU 2016.
With its third year being another success, preparations for next year's TEDxLSU are already underway. For Tiger TV, I'm Michaela Morgan.
All of the TEDxLSU talks this past weekend will soon be available to watch for free online on the TED Talks website. So, do you miss Jack yet?
Is this a trick question?
No, you have to answer. Remember, Jack's watching.
Well, you know, Jack really has that sunny personality, but you really bring the whole glitter and rhinestones vibe to the news desk.
Wait, I thought Kristen had the sunny personality.
Well, she's actually not here either. The plague is taking down everybody one by one. I know I'm going to be next.
Whatever you do, don't breathe on me. Someone give me some hand sanitizer, please.
After the break, the Canadians are defacing their currency in the best way. Leonard Nimoy died last week at the age of 83, but Star Trek fans in Canada are honoring Nimoy's legacy by Spocking their $5 bills. In other words, Canadians are drawing the stylish Spock haircut and his signature ears on the mostly hairless head of Sir Wilfrid Laurier, a former Prime Minister of Canada. Some people are even drawing the iconic hand gesture to honor Nimoy's memory. Leonard Nimoy first appeared as Spock in 1965 in the rejected Star Trek pilot called The Cage, but since then he has created one of the most recognizable movie characters, reminding all of us to live long and prosper. Well, that's all we have time for today, but you can stay updated with Tiger TV Newsbeat on LSUReveille.com. Remember to stay tuned to see me, Chenille, and Taylor Curette for Halftime at Hodges at 6.
From all of us here at Newsbeat, good night.